Welcome to the Big View, Ending Poverty in Your Community. My name is Yvette Trujillo, and I am the Chief Integrity Officer at Circles USA. And joining me today, as always, is Kamatara Johnson, our Executive Director. Hey there, Kamatara.
Hello, Vet.
So we are with Circles USA, and at Circles, our mission is building community to end poverty through intentional friendships, personal transformation, and systemic change led by the people closest to the challenge. And our vision for the future that we want to be living into is all individuals live in equitable and thriving communities where poverty no longer exists. And this podcast is all about getting a better understanding, a higher level understanding of the experience of poverty. So we take that 30,000-foot level view of poverty and we break it down into these bite-sized chunks to help you understand what's actually happening for folks. What are they living through and how you can make a real difference right where you are, right in your community. So this first season of our podcast, we're going to unpack the 5 stages of moving from surviving to thriving. After 25 years of work in the anti-poverty arena, Circles USA has seen this pattern over and over again. Moving from surviving to thriving involves 5 key stages. It's crisis intervention, stabilization, readiness, placement, and advancement. So today we're diving into the 4th stage on the journey to prosperity, and that is placement.
Well, thanks, Yvette. We have been going on a journey. Oh my goodness. So to get to placement, we've been through crisis, so the immediate danger and threat to our lives has been taken care of, and then we've been through stabilization. All right, my routines are in place, and I'm stable in the different arenas that are essential for a healthy life. And then in readiness, I was able to reconnect with my dreams or create new ones as I explore and plan for my future. And in readiness, I was able to take steps towards professional and personal growth because there's enough space for me to do what I want to do with my life, which is an entirely new position for a lot of people to ever be in. And so the next step is, okay, so now I've taken all this into me, this training, this learning, this growth, whatever, I've taken it in. Now, how do I get that out into the world? And that's where placement is really important. So the placement stage focuses on connecting me with opportunities, and not just in the workforce, but also in the community. How do I use my newly gained skills, my certifications, and my confidence, my self-value, knowing I have gifts to offer to the world? How do I do that in a meaningful way? So maybe there's a paid internship or some fresh employment prospects or civic engagement activities or just beautiful things that are happening in the community where I can contribute not only my lived experience, but also these new skills and this, maybe newfound leadership aspect of myself where I am taking charge of my life and I can do this out into the community. So I'm more outward facing and sharing what I have with the world, personally and professionally.
Yeah, definitely. And it becomes that like expanding more and feeling that you have an impact out in, right? That
Mm.
like I think a lot of times it can feel, like I'm sitting in this receptive mode where people are helping me and supporting me, and which is beautiful and wonderful. And that's what community is about. But there's this stage where you begin to be able to reach back out, where
Yeah.
you be able to take not just that you're able to do it, that you have something, but to recognize that you have something of value to share with the world, and that you've been doing and building that recognition. Not that it hasn't always been there, because it's always there,
Mhm.
but that in this process of moving along through these stages, that you've begun to recognize like what value you have and how much you have to give and share with your community, with an employer, in your business, the skill that you have that has value. Like that is just this really beautiful combination of of qualities and awareness of yourself that you actually turn and shift. It feels like you're kind of shifting away out of yourself, right? Like it's been so
Yeah.
internal, and now it's like, wow, look at this whole world out here that I get to make better.
Wow. And it's such a contribution. So, an interesting question for communities to consider is what kind of workplaces do we have for people who are now ready? Do we have healthy workplaces that pay, a family sustaining wage, that have good benefits, that have a line of sight, that are, vibrant and meaningful? Do we have really robust employment opportunities in our community? Do we have a good transportation system in place to help people get where they need and want to go? Or do we have, what do we have that helps people to get out there and get connected and placed with awesome employment opportunities and also awesome volunteer opportunities? And just imagine the shift that, someone like me I experienced in my life, where I was absolutely living hand to mouth, the working poor school teacher, and had, our first baby, and then we were just like nose to the grindstone, just trying to work, get it done, taking on extra gigs, like anything we could to just sort of make it. And then when we turned a corner and didn't have to do that as much, and to think, oh, my child could be in Girl Scouts. Wait, I could help with Girl Scouts. Oh, I could be actively part of my child's life and not just have other people raising my children, which was a big experience for my children when they were growing up because I couldn't be present. I was working all the time. And so to have that shift, that opening of like, not only might I be working fewer hours at a better job that is more meaningful and satisfying, and I'm feeling good and all the things, now I have this opening of like, I could contribute to the community or to my family members' lives. And it's just such a different posture. And it's so like in and out, that like mutual reciprocity is happening now. That's so beautiful and so fulfilling, and deepening relationships with my loved ones and my community members, and even having the space to see what's in my community. What might I want to do? Or what are other employers? I don't have to stay at this particular job. Like I am valuable. I could apply to this other job that's better. So it's maybe going from hope into to action, really fulfilling the things hoped for.
Right. I think the big quality that stands out here for me is the like the position to be in to take a risk, right?
Mm,
That before this risk, I mean, risk is always risky. It's always kind of like, oh, can I do that? But that there's this space, there's the stability in this stage to more readily step into risk. Like I can take the risk of looking at a new job, looking at a new position, doing different things in my community because there is enough stabilization in your life and other areas in your finances, in your home, whatever those need to be for you, that now I can take a little bit of a risk. I don't have to worry that my whole world is going to collapse if I make a wrong step. There's bandwidth, there's slack for you to take a step and, oh, that didn't work out quite well enough or quite the way that I wanted and hoped to. Okay, it's not going to devastate you. It's not
right.
devastate you to take a risk. And I think so many folks that don't have a sense of what, and I'll own this for myself. I know for me, I didn't understand how much of a privilege taking risks in my life has
Mm.
been. It's been an absolute privilege. I'm a risk taker. I like trying new things. I like adventure. I'll try this. I'll try that. I didn't, right?
That's the opposite of me. I am so risk averse. I have to be encouraged. Like, it's a low risk, Kamatara. You could just try it for a little. Okay. And then I'll try it. But continue. I hear what you're
Like,
saying.
let's
Thank
move
you.
again. That sounds like fun. Let's try that. Oh, well, that didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to. And you just kind of brush yourself off and move on. That is a privilege. That is a privilege of a certain degree of stability and support and financial health and emotional health that I can easily, no, maybe not so easily sometimes, but I can take risks like that. And I did not understand. I did not understand that that was something that was a real privilege that I had just because I grew up in a certain socioeconomic group um and lived in it and moved in it that I didn't get. Oh, people, not everybody has this ability. If I'd thought about it, sure, that would have, you know, I would have been
Yeah.
able to figure that out, but I never even thought about it. That, wow, why don't you just, it's not working for you there? Why don't
Yeah.
you just find a new job? I've said
A
that
different
before.
job.
Just find a new job, like, of course you got skills and of course you can do things. Like, no, what if it doesn't work out? I don't have the bandwidth,
Hmm.
have the flex for that not to work out.
Or the emergency savings fund, or the
I
time, or the gas. But it is interesting in this placement stage, it shows that intentionality. I am going to place myself here in this job or in this community activity, and then we're going to see how this works out. And it's interesting to have options, to have choices I've never had before. And it is a privilege for me to say, you know, I volunteered with this particular organization and it wasn't exactly my jam. Let me try this other one. Or I found out that I love to do community musicals and I had no idea. And I've always wanted to do that. And now I have the space to do that. And then my children are getting into it. And then they're helping out backstage. And now we're doing this family activity. And we've never had the space for that before because now I have this amazing job where I don't have to work as many hours and I'm that family sustaining wages in place. I have decent benefits. Like I'm beyond stable and I have these new skills I'm using that I got in my readiness phase. And I've been placed, like I am placed in my community. I'm not just like couch surfing. It's not other people's community. I am placed. It is mine. I am home in a good, in all the good ways that you could think of the word home. Like this is mine and I'm a valuable part of it. That kind of placement is so rich and so meaningful.
And that really does speak to like the at this stage, like the confidence that you have in yourself and the confidence that you have in what you are able to do. This is a beautiful, beautiful. I think it might be shifting. This might be my new favorite Kamatara.
It makes me so emotional for those of you watching the video. I know it makes me emotional, but it's like I wish everyone could feel that deep sense of meaning and belonging and like you are home. You are here on purpose. We love you. We value you. And like you are contributing in ways that only you could do. Like your whole life is led up to this moment and your perfect combination of your lived experience and the different things that you've done to develop yourself. Like you're such a gift.
Mm.
I just wish everyone could have that experience, like whether they've had experience with poverty or not. Like I even think people who have never experienced poverty, they may not have ever experienced being placed. Like be here on purpose. And it's so beautiful and it's so bountiful in ways we couldn't even imagine to have that. That's where community is really thriving and humming and juicy and delicious and just so beautiful.
I love that. That's the perfect
Mhm.
this Kamatara. Thank you so much for your passion, your excitement. That's awesome. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. I hope that you've gotten some good nuggets that you could take away with you and bring to your community and make a difference in so many lives. So I hope that you'll join us next time as we take that last little leap into the last stage advancement and talk about that and hopefully wrap things up a little bit for you. Thanks for joining us.